What's up, Melanated family? How's everybody doing, man? This is a this is a live episode of the Melanated Convo podcast. Live on Facebook, trying something new. Got a cool episode for y'all today, man. I'm doing a live episode with my girl Cherene Briggs. She gonna come on in a minute. You know what I mean? We're going to talk about why do people cheat. That's the name of it, or that's the topic for the show today. Why do people cheat? Why do men cheat? Why do women cheat? Me and my girl Shireen is going to get into that. If this is your first time tuning into the show, I do a few things here. We talk about black businesses. That's the first thing that we always cover. I have something called Black Business Spotlight, where we pretty much cover new black businesses that I've discovered. I think it's extremely important to the health of our community if we're going to empower ourselves, if we're going to get out of a lot of the situations that we're in currently. Money is one of the things that we can do, or money is one of the things that we need to help remedy a lot of the situations that we go through in our community. So supporting black businesses is one of the ways that you can be a revolutionary in your community. You feel me? It's one of the ways that you can give back. It's one of the ways that you could be a willing participant to help us in our struggle. You feel what I'm saying? So we talk about black businesses. I talk about news stories. I try to find things that are imperative, like to our struggle, things that go on. I talk a lot about police brutality at times, and that's not because I want to harp in on racism as much as I just want to bring light to the shit that we go through. You know what I mean? So we talk about, the police. I talk about relationships. I talk a lot about situations with our kids. So the news stories, we normally do 2 to 3 news stories every episode. Then we have a topic of the day. That topic is typically involving our children. It's involving how to raise our kids. It's involving the things we go through with the mothers of our children or the fathers of our children. If you're a woman, you feel me? My bigger platform is Melanated Fathers of America, which pretty much addresses what we go through as a community. You know what I mean? It addresses what we go through as a community. It addresses the importance for us to learn history. It addresses the importance for black men to be in our kids' lives and figure out the best way to be impactful, because we talk a lot about racism. We talk a lot about this system, that the man, quote unquote, which I'm with y'all. There is a system in place that has done us dirty, that still has systematic inequalities that are still embedded in the system, and we got to deal with that shit, right? But as men, as adults, it's something you can do about that. You don't have to fall victim to this system. So my point in my website is teaching men in particularly, how not to fall victim to the system. And in my opinion, one of the biggest ways to do that is to learn about history, learn about your family history, learn about the history of your people in this country. And to me, digging deep into that, digging deep into religion, digging deep into psychology, all these different things, then you'll begin to love yourself. I think once all of us get to a point where we love ourselves, then we'll be able to love everybody else. And you know what I mean? That's, in my opinion, how you make the world a better place, but it starts with you. You feel me? So I'm waiting for my sister Cherene Briggs to come on. She's going to be my co-host today for the show, because she was on the show with me 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. And she mentioned how once we got off the line, she wants to talk about cheating, and she had questions about dating and shit. I think I can answer it. So I'm waiting for my sister to come on. Let me see here. Let me invite her. All right, there we go. So give me a second. Shireen should be coming in here in a minute. So what we're going to talk about on today's show, I have several different news stories that we're going to hit on. There is in Wisconsin, we have a white teacher who was attempting to teach kids in her school, in her elementary school, about Black Lives Matter and about liberation movements. And of course, being in a small all-white town, she got in trouble for the shit. And you know what I mean? They trying to remove her from her position and different things like that. So we're going to talk about the importance of black kids or all kids really learning real history in school. You feel me? Learning about real history, learning about the actual things that took place, not this fantastical ass history that they teach our kids in school. Not to say that everything they teach is a lie, but they remiss a lot of shit. So if teachers, in my opinion, if teachers want to come on and kind of talk to kids about black history and about what's going on right now in real time, that's important. You know what I mean? I think she said the kids seen something about George Floyd or something like that, and they were asking questions. So, of course, if your kids are asking questions about shit that's happening in real time, you better figure out a way to talk to them about it. You know what I mean? So, me and Shireen is going to touch on that. Me and Shireen is going to touch on... Wait, is that her? No. Me and Shireen is going to touch on that. Me and Shireen is going to touch on a brother by the name of Grandmaster Jay. He has an organization called the Not Fucking Around Coalition, right? And this is basically like a black militia. And with this black militia, and I'm inspired by his movement. Like I really like the brother. His black coalition, his militia rather, they go to different protests and make sure that the protests remain peaceful. You know what I mean? Over like the past 3 or 4 or 5 years, there's been like a rise in white militia groups. And these white militia groups sometimes show up to protest. Sometimes they're a little antagonistic. So Grandmaster Jay created the Not Fucking Around Coalition so we can kind of combat some of those movements. They've even had their own marches, like, of course, the George Floyd stuff, Breonna Taylor. They were in Stone Mountain, Georgia, protesting some things that happened there. So this is a progressive brother, in my opinion, that's doing what he can to kind of help us out. Oh, where is she? Did I do it right? Oh, then I'll bring her on the camera. What up, sister? There you go.
Hi, brother.
What's
Doing?
going on with you?
It's good. Everything's good over here.
Yep, I was just telling everybody about a couple of the things that we're going to talk about today. And everybody, this is Shireen, a journalist and creator of Power Moves Presents. My sister, she's also an
Yes,
editor and she does some work with the Sac Report magazine as well. Ain't that right, Shireen? Do you still work with
exactly.
them?
Exactly. Everybody be looking out for the Sac Report magazine. It's dropping next week.
Mm-hmm.
It's our 24th issue, very monumental issue. And I have some actual write ups in that you guys are going to enjoy. And then again, I am the CEO and founder of Power Moves Presents. So be looking out for some interviews and good topics and things of that in the future. With COVID, it's a little bit difficult, but I'm still working hard to give you guys what you want, and I'm very honored to be on your platform, Harrison. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. Hey, do me a favor and tell everybody just a little bit about Power Moves Presents because I think ever since I met you, I saw immediately that your biggest, like you were the biggest advocate of our people. You know what I mean? Like like all of the work that you do, I can tell that you have a strong passion for just seeing improvement in our people. So do me a favor and tell everybody about Power Moves Presents, why you started it, and things like that.
Okay, let me briefly summarize this for you. So Power Moves presents. If you think about the actual name, you talk about power moves.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of our people, we talk about Black Lives Matter and things of that nature, and indeed it does. But also, what matters most, right?
Mm-hmm.
Having that power, that 1%, they have the power, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how they're making so what we call power moves.
Mm-hmm.
So Power Moves presents. That's how the name is generated because power moves. And the presents is just because I have all types of other different elements to that. We talk about systemic racism, institutionalized oppression. I focus a lot on young girls and their overall well-being, mentally, sex trafficking. So it's so many different aspects to that performing arts and how that correlates with our young kids, helping our black men to graduate high school, reading
Mm-hmm.
higher than the eighth grade level. So that's what the presents is. So that whatever I want to dive into, it'll be Power Moves presents a power moment with Cherene Briggs featuring Harrison Anderson, where we talk
Mm.
about you and your platform, or Power Moves presents a Power Move. Power Moves presents a Power Moment with Fred, like I did Fred Hampton Jr.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which I keep playing, and his father passed December 4th, in 1969. So I've been posting that, and I want you guys all to take a look at that, because a lot of people don't know who Fred Hampton Sr. is, and I did not know before I interviewed his son 5 years ago. But it gives you a kind of an idea of who he is and what he stood for. And I speak to his only child. So Power Moves Presents is about our people gaining power and making power moves.
Definitely, definitely. Well, all right, and we definitely need to start making power moves. So I'm with that. So let's get everything. So let's get everything started. First things first, like I said, we're gonna touch on the black businesses. These are two black businesses that I've done like multiple weeks in a row now, but I'm just really inspired by these works. I'm really inspired by these ideals, and I definitely think this is something that all of us need to be aware of, right? So the first clothing line, or the first black business that I want to talk about, is a black business called On Code Clothing. On Code Clothing. So if anybody listening to us aren't too familiar, as black people, some of us believe that it's important that we create like a code of conduct, like just a way in which we are going to conduct ourselves around each other, a way in which we're going to love each other, a way in which we're going to support each other, right? So all of this kind of comes under a code of conduct, quote unquote. I'm real, and that's something that I believe in. You know what I mean? That's definitely one of my ideologies. So when I seen this clothing line, I thought it was right on point. So it's oncodeclothing.com, and they basically have clothing that's inspired by our empowerment. So it's empowering messages on all of the clothing. Some of it is inspired by 2020, like everything that's been going on with the pandemic. They touch on the fact that they have shirts touching on the fact that these presidential candidates don't necessarily have a black agenda. So they have shirts talking about that. They have shirts for women talking about Harriet Tubman, or talking about different empowering women throughout our history. They have, for all of our brothers and sisters who went to HBCUs, they have a whole collection of HBCU alumni clothing. And like I said before, even if you're not somebody who went to a HBCU, you can still rock the clothing if you just want to represent all black universities, because we have to be honest, a lot of these universities turn out like excellent fucking professionals. Like, we got to be honest about that. You know what I mean? So it's important that we try our best to support black folks. Also on the website, there's like an on code clothing home where it has mugs and blankets and different things you can use for your house. All of the clothing, all of the shirts, all of the sweaters have empowering messages for our people. So I think that's extremely important, that we not only support black businesses, like I say, but support qualified black businesses, right? Like, all of us work extremely fucking hard for our money. I don't want to give you my money just because you black. Like, it's actually a tiebreaker. You're offering me a service that I can find somewhere else. The tiebreaker is that you black and you look like me. You know what I mean? So I'm not just going to give you my hard-earned money because you look like me. You still have to present me with a product that's just, the quality of it is the same shit I can get down the street. You know what I mean? And like I always say, if you support these black businesses, don't hold them to a higher standard than you hold Walmart or you hold anywhere else. If you finally decide, because I know a lot of people who be like, I don't fuck with black businesses, they don't get my shit on time, they hella unprofessional. True. I just qualified this by saying we're going to try to rock with qualified black businesses. But if you see somebody trying hard, and let's say your shirt is late or you got some small issues, don't blast them out on social media. Like, don't do no whole goddamn cancel culture campaign on them just because you're a little frustrated. We need to keep in mind that we need these businesses. So if you can hit them in a DM, if you can hit them on a website and professionally tell them, hey, I don't like what happened, or can I get a refund, or I haven't got my shirt yet. I'm sure all of the companies like this that I've dealt with, they're willing to work with you, whatever the situation may be. So go ahead.
And Harrison, when you excuse me, when you talk about giving the black business owners chances, not only are we talking about whether it's late or something of that nature. A lot of times we talk about, well, it's not up to par. The actual sweatshirt is thin as hell, or they're charging me $35 when we know that they bought it wholesale for $5.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the thing is, right? We have to start somewhere. So, what I would encourage my people to do is to basically have a nurturing a type of a heart towards us, because it's already hard for us to start our business. And the same way that we have a problem with Walmart, like you said, we go tell Walmart, we'll stand in that line, that return line, and let them know this right here doesn't work. This right here ripped. I just washed it and it just ripped.
Mm-hmm.
Email that company, email that black-owned company. Stay on the code. Treat them with respect and let them know, hey, brother, you know what? I appreciate what you're doing. Everything you're doing is on point. But I feel like I washed your shirt. I only wore it twice, and I washed it, and it's ripping, brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so are you able to maybe get a higher quality type of cotton? Because everything you're talking about is on point.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is just be a nurturer with your people. The same way you nurture your baby cub, the same way you nurture somebody in your family, your grandmother. Nurture your black businesses, and they should nurture us as well, and not expect us to just do it because we all are black people or melanated people.
Mm-hmm. Word up.
Always be kind to each other, speak, and stop talking behind each other's back, and let us know what the problem is.
Mm-hmm. Word up. That's perfect right there, because like we saying, I don't want you just to give your money to somebody because they black, but the whole interaction, like both parties are responsible for the interaction. You're responsible for coming at them a particular way if you don't like what you get, and the business owner is responsible for presenting you a quality product and not just throwing some shit together and think you supposed to buy it because we both black. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's not gonna cut it. You know what I mean? Also, so yeah, it's oncodeclothing.com, oncodeclothing.com. If you go to the website right now, I think they have a couple deals for Christmas that you can get. But I ordered a shirt. I haven't received the shirt yet, but everything looks real nice to me. I definitely recommend we all do our best to support them. So go to oncodeclothing.com right now, oncodeclothing.com. Christmas is coming up. You know what I mean? You can get somebody in your family something for Christmas. I know it's always somebody's birthday and shit like that, man. So we are an extremely fashionable people. You know what I mean? Black folks, we spend a lot of money on clothes. We know how to make shit work. We can actually make a lot of these black clothing lines. We can make these black clothing lines fashionable if we just decided to wear it. You know what I mean?
If we came together. Exactly.
Yep. So everybody go to On Cold Clothing today. Check that out. Now, the next black business that I wanted to support, this is a sister that I met on Facebook, and just based on my platform and what I've been through in my life, her business just spoke to me in volume. She has a book called The Child Support Hustle. Mine just came in the mail today. The Child Support Hustle, you feel me? Where she basically goes into the details about how if you allow that system into your home, it can fuck you. Like the interest rates, how they perceive you, how you get treated when you go down there, how some of their practices kind of divides the family, even if they're not trying to, because we got to understand as black folks, we have a lot of issues already, right? We have a lot of trauma and a lot of things that we haven't dealt with. If you bring a third party into your relationship to help manage the well-being of your child, a lot of times that don't turn out right. You know what I mean? So I'm just encouraged by the fact that this sister put this book together. They have a movement called the Reform Child Support Now movement, where they have like you can sign the petition and everything. You know what I mean? You can sign the petition if you go to thechildsupporthustle.com, thechildsupporthustle.com. You can buy the book. And look, if you are a brother who's going through the child support system, you need to read this. If you know a young dude who don't got kids yet, but he's 16, 17 years old, this is a great damn Christmas present for him. Like some of our young men need to know the details behind why you need to avoid some of this shit, right? So this is good for a young man like that. If you know a dude who just had a baby, right? And he in that blissful stage where him and his baby mama getting along, they ain't having no problems at all. Excuse me. He need to read something like this still, just so he can be on top of his game and know how he can maneuver, excuse me, if he's ever in a situation where he has to pay child support. So this is the Child Support Hustle. Go to the childsupporthustle.com. Even if you got a partner who always arguing with his baby mama, if you got a partner who always complaining about the fact that he got to pay child support or complaining about the fact that he can't see his kid, we need to start reading more, y'all. I'm big advocate of reading. A lot of shit you're not gonna find on TV. A lot of shit you're not gonna find on TV. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to crack open a book. And this is a Black-owned business. This is a sister. I think she has like a podcast. I love her website. So go to the childsupporthustle.com. If you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, I'm going to put a link to both businesses under the actual video once we post everything. But look, y'all, it's important. This is a system that we need to avoid now. Granted, if you're a woman who can't get money from your baby daddy, like if he don't give you no money, if he's not making a valid effort to be in your kid's life, by all means, do what you got to do. Like, I'm not one of the people who would tell a woman, don't try to get child support. Don't do any of that, even if he's showing to be a damn deadbeat. Like all of us, because I'm a firm believer, being a father of 5 myself, even when I didn't have money, like there's other ways you could participate in your children's life. And if you show yourself to be genuine, most women is going to rock with that and give you some leeway and try to find a way to work with you. You know what I mean? But if you're
and speaking on the idea that most women will work with you, Harrison, I want to quickly talk about that. First of all, that book, if you hold it up again, The Child Support Hustle, that book is genius. It's genius. The woman who created it, she's a genius. And I've dived a little bit into the book, and I know that it's not something that's against men. What she's trying to do is get us to kind of work together and not. But from what I heard from you is not necessarily go to the system.
Exactly.
Right? Because we know what the system was built on and how it is created to make it, to create division amongst us, right?
Definitely.
So for my women, just speaking as a Black woman and having my own child and raising my own child, I would say if you can work with the husband or the father of your child as best as you can. And just like Harrison said, if they're just totally not willing, do what you have to do. There's certain codes in our community that are good, and there's certain codes that are bad. If the man is not helping you with your child, then you're gonna have to. Your code is to go to the man, because I've given you time after time after time after time again, and you can't feel shame and you can't feel guilt for that. If he's not helping, you're gonna have to do what you have to do. And so what I'm saying is, again, there's good codes and there's bad codes in the Black community. Choose one and make sure that each time that you do choose one, that is on point and that it's a real good reason why you're going the other way, which is going to the system versus just working it out with the man.
Definitely. And I want to give this sister props. Her name is Kenya Rahman. Kenya Rahman is the lady who wrote this book about the child support system. So go to the childsupporthustle.com. The book was only $10. I mean, come on now. The book was only $10. So it's a great read for any young man. Even actually, Shireen, a woman can read this too. A woman who hasn't had kids yet, or maybe she got a kid and she's thinking about using the system against him. Maybe something like this will make her change her mind. You know what I mean?
Well, now, you never know. Me and Harrison may have a surprise to where we give one of our followers that book for free. So you guys be looking out for that. You never know what's coming up.
That's dope right there. That is dope right there, because knowledge is power. And sometimes we complain, rightfully so. Like, we go through a lot of stuff in this country, but sometimes we complain about shit that we can get a handle on. You know what I mean? And I think raising your family the right way, putting yourself in the right position as a man, protecting your seed can help you prevent. Now, granted, married people go to the child support system. People who've been together hella years and get divorced, they go through child support. This is a system that a lot of people use. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to make it seem like only Black folks is going through child support. No, it's a system that's used by all walks of life, but we got to understand like the trauma and the shit that we've been through specifically. So a comedian that I like, he always say this shit. if America got the flu, then we got corona. You know what I mean? If America got the flu, then we got AIDS. You know what I mean? Whatever sickness America is going through, that shit is hitting us 3, 4, 5 times worse. So we need to realize as a people, we just got to figure out a way to come together. You know what I mean? So the childsupporthustle.com, go get the book.
That's sad.
Now,
that he compared us to having America having the flu and us having corona.
He said, shit, if America is sick, we dying.
Exactly.
All right, family. So now on to the news stories, family. You know how we do it.
Let's do it.
3 or 4 news stories just to get the family thinking. You know what I mean? Just to get the family thinking about the things that we go through, the incidents that be taking place with our people. So the first news story I wanted to read is about a brother named Grandmaster Jay. So if you guys aren't familiar with Grandmaster Jay is the leader of an organization called the Not Fucking Around Coalition. And the Not Fucking Around Coalition basically is a militia that goes to protests. Like over the last 3 or 4 years, like I was telling you, Shireen, there's been a rise in white militia organizations, right? So to combat that, this brother created the Not Fucking Around Coalition. It's like 300 of them or more. They'll show up at a protest strapped down just to make sure everything remains peaceful. There's been times where some of the Confederate monument statues, they've wanted those statues to come down, so they'll march in front of the statue. Everything has been peaceful, so it ain't been like them shoot nobody or doing nothing like that. They're real organized. They're the brother Jam Master Jay seems to be in charge of the organization to the point where they're real professional and about their business. And really, I just admire the fact that he willing to stand up and protect his people. You know what I mean? Because they willing to do work. A lot of the brothers that's in the NFAC, the Not Fucking Around Coalition, they ex-military. Like these brothers is willing to get down. You know what I mean? All in the name of our liberation. You know what I mean? Because they distinguish themselves between what they do and what, like a Black Lives Matter. Like no disrespect to someone who marches and protests. All they're saying is there's a time to protest. And there's a time to pick this goddamn gun up to make sure nothing happened to us. You know what I mean? Right. So what happened, the brother was arrested a few days ago. So let me read the story. Black militia leader John Fitzgerald Johnson, also known as Grandmaster Jay, was arrested on Thursday and charged with assaulting law enforcement officers for pointing a gun at police in Kentucky early this year. Now, Johnson, who is 57 years old, he's the leader of the armed militia group, like I said, the Not Fucking Around Coalition, was arrested at his Ohio home on December 3rd on charges stemming from a September 4th incident in which authorities say he interfered with federally deputized task force officers one day before a planned protest near the Kentucky Derby in Louisville, Kentucky. They were there to protest the Breonna Taylor situation and how we haven't really gotten any justice about that. So basically, according to the criminal complaint, Johnson, Grandmaster Jay, pointed an AR-15 rifle at an FBI agent, a Secret Service agent, and 3 Louisville Metro officers while they were surveilling an area from the roof of a building as demonstrators gathered to protest the fatal shooting of Breonna Taylor, who was killed by Louisville police in March. We all know about that story. The protest was planned to coincide with the running of the storied Kentucky Derby. So they wanted to kind of interrupt the Kentucky Derby just to bring a point about our injustice. So, you know what? So I looked it up. Of course, to point a gun at anybody is against the law. To point a gun at a cop, if a person point a gun at you, that's against the law. But I bring up the story because, in my opinion, the brother is doing a good thing. Like creating a militia designed to protect our people in a peaceful but ready to do action. Like they ain't on no fuck shit. They're extremely peaceful and they show up where they need to be to help our people. You know what I mean? So them arresting this brother, in my opinion, because he's facing like 20 years in jail for this shit, Shireen.
20 years.
Just because there's a picture of him with his AR-15 pointing it up where the officers are. And they seen the light on him Like, oh shit, this nigga pointing his gun, you know what I mean? So
Okay.
of course, that's the offense that can land you in jail. But how severe they're making it, see, I'm not sure. Whenever I see somebody that's in our community, a man or a woman in our community that knows how to conduct business the right way, like knows how to um, show unrest the correct way, like knows how to militarize people, know how to gather people together to get them to do whatever that said thing is. I
Yeah.
think the powers that be are always going to be a little weary of somebody who knows how to wield all this power and it ain't no nigga shit going on. You know what I mean?
Well, I
So,
mean, first, when you think about it, you could go back to the '60s when we talked
mm-hmm,
about Martin Luther King, different type of mentality and different type of tactic. But
mm-hmm,
what happened to him? There was a target on him. He was
mm-hmm,
trying to make change, trying to be seen, and he ended up killed. You talk about
mm-hmm,
even Fred Hampton Sr. This man was assassinated. I talk about him a lot of times because I learned about him at such an older age.
mm-hmm,
80 times, over 80 times shot with the mother of his child, Fred Hampton Jr., in his stomach, in her stomach at 7 months. They knew
mm,
that he was trying to do things what I call decent and in order,
mm-hmm.
right? He's dead. So what's the difference now? You talk about the man now, Grandmaster Jay.
Yep, yep,
So again, he's being watched. You got feds watching him. You got the police watching him. You got anybody who is in that white supremacy type of level watching him because he is now a threat. So
mm-hmm,
what they do is they try to find anything that they can to either bring him under, make him stay behind bars, or
mm-hmm.
he would end up dead. So I don't feel that he's going to get the 20 years, but I do feel like they probably are going to try to give him something because they want to teach us a lesson.
It seems like we always need to be aware of the fact that a lot of shit they do to us, it's exactly that. We want to teach you a lesson. We want you to
Right.
stay in your place type of mentality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
And
those youngsters come up trying to and follow him
exactly.
because look what happened to him. If you young,
Mm-hmm.
if the youth, if you 18 to 25-year-old think you're gonna do something, see
Mm-hmm.
what look and see what's gonna happen.
You know what I mean? And I've seen the brother do interviews and talk to different people from our community, and he's real clear on his mission. He's real clear that he's tired of all the injustices that happen with black people. It's his ideology that one day we need to be in our own place. Like he's somewhat of a separatist where he believes we need to be on our own land, which I'm not completely against that. You know what I mean? I mean,
I'm
shit, why not? You know what I
I'm
mean? So I rock with the brother. I hope they let him out. Um I hope he don't get a lot of time for this. Now I'm when I'm online, I'm paying attention to a lot of the quote unquote conscious people in our community. You know what I mean? And some people are calling him an agent because of some videos that came out of some shit like that. I do my own research on people and I come up with my own conclusions based on what I find. And I haven't found no negative shit about the brother because at the end of the day, everybody gonna have faults. Like ain't nobody gonna be a perfect man or a perfect person. I'm always inspired when I see people who are fighting for black liberation. People who stand up and say, look, I see what's going on with my people. I don't like that shit. I'm gonna try to do something to fix it. Because a lot of black folks don't. I know a lot of black people who they go to work, they go home, they want to take care of their family. I'm not knocking having like that singular mindset where you're just thinking about your family. But to me, all black folks is my family. So I'm constantly thinking about the moves that I make and the things that I do. How is this going to affect like black people in general? You know what I mean? Because when we get pulled over, when we have all these bouts with racism, they're not looking at where you from. They're not looking at if you from Haiti or if you a islander. They're not looking at if you from New York or if you from a gang. They're not looking at any of that shit. They just
doesn't matter.
looking at just the skin color.
Yeah,
That's it. You know what I mean? So
indeed.
what you know what I mean? So when I
And
look at black folks, the first thing I'm always looking at is what's your relationship to other black people? Like, do you love us? Do you genuinely have a affinity for the advancement of black people? And that don't mean you a revolutionary. That don't mean you got to wear no damn dashiki. That don't mean you got to go to all the meetings. You ain't got to do none of that. Shit, just care. Just care and get in where you fit in to try to help out. Because typically, if you start caring, you'll figure out a way to help out. You feel me? So one love to the brother Grandmaster Jay. I hope he don't get no a long amount of time for doing what he did. But this is inspiration to all of us. Shit. If you know a lot about guns and you in the black community, start you a little coalition. Like start you a little militia type thing where you teach people, because really what he's doing is teaching black folks how to handle guns, teaching black people how to organize. We all need that shit. You see what I'm saying? So
let me
it's
shout out real quickly to my cousin Cherene Malik. He's doing exactly what you are talking about. I don't know if you heard about it. He has a group called the Brown Shooters.
Where are they out of?
It's Brown Shooters right here out of Sacramento, born and raised. So just so you guys know, people that are watching, if you're interested in learning about guns, learning how to use them with respect and handle them in a way where you have to know that using a gun is not for fun. Okay, so if you're willing to understand that what guns are really for, how they're used to protect, how they're used to protect your family, if you want to learn how to use them, which types of guns they are, shout out to Cherene Malik starting the Brown Shooters, and look him up, just the Brown Shooters right here on Facebook, and they have almost every week or every other week they go out to the shooting range and things of that nature. And what I think a part of that big goal is to get us aware of how to use guns, what to know about guns, and to know, just like you're driving a car, how you have to be real responsible. It's a privilege to drive a car. You can't be reckless. A lot of our people think of guns as reckless. We just blah blah blah. You know the way we talk about it. It's a real thing, and again, decent and in order. So shout out to Cherene Malik. Check him out. Brown Shooters. Learn how to be responsible when you have guns, and learn how to use them the right way.
Yeah, and I may have him on the show because that's important. A lot of the brothers that I know, like just coming up in my neighborhood, they weren't too keen on like legal firearms. You know what I mean? Right. Everybody had one, but nobody really had no training on how to use it. They was using it. They first time using it was when they had to shoot at somebody or something. You know what I mean? So and that was.
Let's do this. You and I, because I've been wanting to go out there. And you don't have to have your own gun. Everybody it's a unity thing. So we can go out there together and do our first little thing and learn together, right? You can speak to Kyrie, bring him on the show.
Oh, so, wait, he has like a little gun range or something?
He just goes to the gun ranges out here.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, and you could go there with him. Got it.
No, but see, it's different than a gun range. It's a gun land. It's like you have a bunch of land and acres to shoot things. It's not just a range where you're just sitting there, shoot, bang, 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 bang. You know, things of that nature. So I'll hook that up, and then you and I can go together.
Definitely.
And that popping. Shout out to Brown Shooters.
Definitely. Shout out to Brown Shooters. Now, next story. So again, shout out to the brother Grandmaster Jay. I hope everything works out good for him. Next story, out of Wisconsin, right? When we talk about our school systems, our public school system, and how at times it feel like our kids are indoctrinated with certain types of information. We understand that a lot of the history that we've been taught, some of it is just false. Some of it is kind of a fantastical type of ideal where it's just using bits and pieces of the truth. We damn sure don't get enough Black history in school. So this story is out of Wisconsin, where racial tensions have boiled over in a Wisconsin community after a fourth grade teacher included a lesson on Black Lives Matter in a Burlington elementary school classroom in August. Now, the teacher, Melissa Statz, wanted to discuss racism and justice with her students, but did not expect to have the conversation so early in the year. She goes on to say, I didn't expect it to be the first week of school, but it was right after Jacob Blake was shot and the kids were talking about it. Excuse me. They seen the boarded up buildings and they were asking questions, she told the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Now, since the lesson, Racial slurs have been burned into the wood chips on the playground, painted on the floor of the school building, and shouted during online class. Now, Stats discussed with students how the 2012 shooting of Trayvon Martin contributed to the rise of the Black Lives Matter movement. She said the students were angered by the injustices discussed and readily engaged in the conversation. She went on to say that they had so much to say and, they had wonderful perspectives. Now, one of the reasons why she may be getting backlash from the Wisconsin town that she's in, the town of Burlington, because less than 2% of that population is black, and roughly 40 out of the 3,000 students in that school are black students. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
why the message may not have been accepted by the broader community. You know what I mean?
Well, I wouldn't say that's why the message may not have been accepted. That's 100% why the message was not accepted. So
Yeah.
I mean, bravo to that teacher for standing up for what's right, and that's when we talk about no, like you say, no shame to those that I don't call it marching, I call it protesting. No
Mm.
shame to people that are out protesting against things that's wrong, because guess what? That woman may have been touched by seeing all that protesting all around on the internet media and things of that
Mm-hmm.
nature. Has she not been awoken?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not saying she's like totally awoken, because I don't believe that. I believe it's very hard for a white person to obviously understand exactly what we're going through, but for
Mm-hmm.
her to even feel the need to incorporate that into her school and her learning and things of that nature shows
Mm-hmm.
that she's been touched, if you will. So
Mm-hmm.
I much respect. Shout out to that white lady, the teacher. Shout
Mm-hmm.
out to her. And my hope and my desire is that many more will do the same. Because guess what? When white folks speak up, they get heard. Changes get made. So
Ain't that the truth? And
that's the
see,
truth.
I think it's the sometimes you just got to be willing to be ostracized. You know what I mean? Because she goes on to say that once the video was posted or some information was posted about what she did, she's getting all these hateful messages. The principal and the people involved in charge of the school board is trying to figure out a way to discipline her. I mean, she's about to get in trouble for this shit. You know what I mean?
In trouble indeed. And I wonder who's gonna have her back. Not even in trouble with just the school, Harrison, but in trouble with her friends and family.
Ain't that the truth?
She
Right?
gets
Yeah, that's true.
disowned. So let's send some love and light her way, and
Definitely.
hopefully that, like, I'm sure she has some type of privilege and some type of influence to where she can go out and do her own thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it is? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? I feel like she's gonna be okay. My spirit is saying she's gonna be okay. So let's definitely follow up on that and see what happens to that teacher.
That's very true. And I think if we gonna get to a place in society where racism is eliminated or not running as rampant as we've seen it, that it can't just be black folks. All races of people are going to have to come to our not our defense, but it's going to have to be a level of acknowledgement. That's my opinion. You know what I mean? It's going to have to be a level of acknowledgement by all races of people about what's going on. You know what I mean? So kudos to that teacher. I support teaching our kids because we we don't get the proper kind of history in these school books. Like we need to be honest about what our kids is learning about who they are. You know what I mean? If all you learning about that you was an actual slave or you learning about Martin Luther King or a couple other people, that's not really enough. That's not digging into 10% of who we actually are and what we've done in this country and abroad. You know what I mean? So,
It's not nearly enough. And even if that's going to be the case, because even though there's a lot of people fighting, Harrison, to incorporate real Black history and social studies, um, the idea is that the whole narrative that is spent on the history that they show now about slavery,
mm-hmm,
that could already be changed to something positive.
mm-hmm,
Have if slaves were able to still stand tall and endure what they did, and create, generation after generations that became doctors and lawyers and teachers and scientists, and Muhammad Ali's and Martin Luther King's and Malcolm X's, why is that something we should be ashamed of?
Mm-hmm.
So the narrative that these schools are spinning is making it look bad. And it's, of course, a divine design. So even if they were to keep that same narrative and talk about slaves, be truthful with how strong we were. Be truthful about the Harriet Tubmans and the women that stood up and the men that stood up and that created powerful Black women and men like you and myself.
Damn right. Damn right. So shout out to that teacher. Hopefully more people, because I would think too that it would take a lot of courage to be in a community where all you hear about is the people in the community talking down about Black folks or talking down about any other race of people. Oh, and something else I want to say, it's we all need to realize that some of these small some of these small enclaves, some of these towns, for one, they used to be sundown towns where we couldn't even enter the town after dark or our ass would get hung. Some of these towns had bells that they rung when the sun was going down. And if you didn't get your ass out of town before the sun was down, they would kill you. They had, I have a book called Sundown Towns by James Lowen, and he talks about the thousands of towns in America where they would have signs that said, if your ass ain't out of this town by the time the sun go down, we gonna kill you. And the funny part about it, Shireen, I'll send it to you one day. At half of California cities, if not more than half, were sundown towns. You know what I mean?
You didn't have to tell me. I already knew.
You know what I mean? So that's some crazy shit. Okay, couple more stories. Oh, and just so everybody is clear, the topic for today, what we're gonna talk about after I'm done with a couple more of these news stories, me and Shireen is gonna talk about why people cheat, why men cheat, why women cheat. We're gonna give our take on the cheating scenarios. We're gonna give our take on the blowback of why men and women cheat. I think people probably ain't gonna want to hear what I gotta say about it, but I don't give a shit. I'm gonna keep that thing real. All right. So, last couple stories. This is a story again. Some of this type of shit. I get tired of talking about some of the things that happen, but it's just a consistent, and it just be hurting my heart to see some of this shit. So, a rapper out of the Bay Area, and I wasn't familiar with this young brother. After I read about him passing, I listened to a little bit of his music. Not necessarily for me, but I appreciate all my young brothers who figure out a way to not be in the street no more. You know what I mean? So I always look at it from that angle. But this is a rapper named Lil Yaz. Lil Yaz, who was shot dead in the San Francisco Bay Area train station. This happened on Thanksgiving weekend. 26-year-old Northern California rapper was gunned down over the Thanksgiving weekend, which is another in the growing list of fatal shootings in the region this year. Now, police in Dublin, in the San Francisco Bay Area, identified Alexander Mark Antonia, I hope I'm saying the brother's last name right, Antonia Jr., who goes by the stage name Lil Yaz, as a victim of a shooting at a Bay Area rapid transit BART train station on Saturday. Officers located Antonia at a nearby hospital where he was admitted with multiple gunshot wounds. Now, Antonia, a San Francisco-born rapper who was one of very few to gain fame in the region, where where most notable talent comes from Oakland or smaller nearby. I'm not too sure of that. But anyways, the remix to one of his latest songs got 3 million views. It was featuring Mozzie and Nef Farrell. You know what I mean? So look, I brought this up because this is like a epidemic in our community. Like this, I think this is how we should begin to see it, right? Like our relationship to hip hop music, we have to be honest about like the content in some of this music. We have to be honest about how art is intimidating. Art is just like life in a lot of these situations. A lot of these young brothers is rapping this music and they actually going out in the street and doing some of this shit. You know what I mean? So I think as Black folks, as much as we don't like police brutality, as much as we don't like any injustice that's happening to our people, we need to begin to dig deep into what is making our young men kill each other. the way that they killing each other. You know what I mean? And just to blame now again, I'm a big proponent of being aware of our history, like the war on drugs, the prison industrial complex. Like a lot of our young men don't have fathers. A lot of our young men don't have men around to kind of help see themselves through this shit. You see what I'm saying? So never, 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 never do I just blame something I see directly on my people. But at the end of the day, the men like me who aren't in jail, the men like me who are in the community, we all got to do a better job of trying to raise up these babies and really getting to them before the streets get to them. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's because I mean this is like the fourth or fifth rapper that's died in the past like 6-7 months. You know what I mean? And most of the time, some of them, the past year or two, it's been drugs and different shit like that. But a lot of them have been gun violence, man. So what are we to do? Because I got young black sons, like we all got young nephews and cousins and young black men in our life. It's not cool what they doing to each other. Now, do I think you should just go up to these young dudes and reprimand them and tell them what they shouldn't be doing? Nah, I don't necessarily take that approach because again, we have to be aware of their trauma. We have to be aware of what caused them to be in a mentality where they'll pick up a goddamn gun and shoot somebody. And like I said before, if you've never shot a gun, like a 40 caliber or anything bigger, when I tell you this is a violent fucking act, it is a violent act to shoot. So any young man who's used to it, we got a problem. If we got young men in our community who's carrying around guns and shoot that motherfucker and then go eat lunch, we got a problem that all of us need to address. You know what I mean, Shireen?
Yeah, indeed. Now, when you talk about the gun violence, and you mentioned at first, this man is what I call a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I also call that a hip hopster.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm also a hip hopster. I love hip hop. The thing is, it's kind of it's hard because what is contributing to a lot of the young life dying nowadays is the hip hop music.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of it indeed is real. Some people did grow up without those fathers. Some people did grow up literally like driving with their dad to go bang somebody's head out. But then you got the other people who are just faking, and you got the Jews who are only signing those people that are going to rap about that to continue to hold the population down. And they're not killing to hold our people down, and they're not worried about us killing each other. That part's not even that. The people who are putting out the music, the big dogs, they're not worried about the aftermath, the real life stuff. They're worried about the money. So when you bring up what are we going to do, first of all, it's accountability. We have to take accountability for our words and our actions. If you are an influencer, if you are a rapper, a hip hopster, what is it? Either you for our people or you just for money.
Mm-hmm.
And once you decide what that is, you make the necessary changes. I know rappers right now, hip hopsters right now, that are not even willing to do songs anymore with people that are talking about, I'll grab my 4-5, headed to the door, creeping in slow. They're not doing it, blasting his head off. What's up, blood? They're not doing that. Because you can still talk about your real life and talk about hood life without talking about killing each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about accountability. It's all about being willing. Because we all know our black people are able to do anything we put our mind to. So it's just about being willing and taking accountability, and whose side are you really truly on? Are you on that dollar side, or are you on, like you said, our people side? And it's too robust to just kind of break down. It's just too robust. It's too big. It's too large for us to just break down and figure this whole thing out. But we can start with the influencers, even like yourself and myself, people who have platforms, people who want to empower, to speak about these things, educate, and speak on it and say it's not right, we need to make a change. Now, in regards to the hip hopsters, where that they have huge influence, they have to take accountability and stop worrying about the money. You got the money now. Do you? But it's always been cash roots, everything around me. Cream with the money, dollar bill, y'all.
And
So it's hard to change what's been instilled into our heads since we began to breathe.
true. You know what I mean? But I think it's becoming a situation where, especially for us who are is considered older, who's considered the OGs or whatever you want to call it. When you know better, you do better. You know what I mean? Like like me and you was talking about the other day, I may listen to hip hop for the rest of my life. Like I may end up I can always find some piece of the music, some genre of the music. There's always an artist that I like that's making music. That's just how it's gonna be. But at the end of the day, some of these messages, we got to be honest about some of the messages in the music. We got to be honest about some of the toxic behavior of our young men. So I think the reason why some people get a bad rap when they come down on black people, when they say stop killing yourself, black on black crime, all this shit, I think the reason why me personally, the reason why I don't listen to people who come at us like that, because I know you don't love us. Like if you come from a place of love, if you black and you love if you love who we are, even if you're not black and you got love for who we are, I can understand that conversation. That's a conversation to be had. We can talk about what happens to us by the hands of other people, but we also have to have a conversation about what we do to each other. Like you can't have one without the other. They're separate to me, but you can have both conversations. You know what I mean? And in the messaging, in the music, talking about just doing drugs, talking about killing niggas, talking about pimping women, we need to be honest. Like this shit, some of it sound good, but the shit is toxic. Now, I'm also for 100% authenticity. So if you live in a particular lifestyle and you just so happen to be good at putting together words, I'm not gonna tell you don't say what you don't. I'm not gonna tell you don't say what you really live in. I'm all about transparency and being authentic. Now, of course, we're gonna look at your lifestyle and say that shit may not be conducive to you living to 60, 70 years old. So you may want to look at a different option. And from what I've seen, most black men, rapper or not, who lives long enough, if he lives long enough, he'll begin to make those changes. Just how we're criminalized and how this system treats shit. A fucking 11-year-old black kid get treated like he a grown man. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes our young men don't have the room to kind of blossom. You know what I mean? They don't have the room to grow out of the adolescence and the mentality of kill or be killed. You see what I'm saying? Because
they don't.
Go ahead.
Like when you think about rappers, hip hop stars, you talk about like let's say Tupac. Tupac was able to bring the street life into the let's say Black Power life. So he would speak the truth. I'm talking about he has a variety of songs, but let's just say like how he said, like the Dear Mama song. You know, even though she was a crack fiend mama, I still got, I can't think of the words right now.
Still Black Queen Mama.
Exactly.
Yep.
So he's bringing both of it together. You know what? Indeed, my mama was a crack fiend, but I still held her to the highest esteem because she's my mother. So if we get rappers that are able to speak their truth, but do it in a way where you still praise and show loyalty and honor to the women, to the children, and to even other men, it would work better. But that's not what's going to happen as of right now, because the people who are signing those the $200 million deals, they want to hear some WAP.
That's true.
They want to hear some WAP. They want to hear, just like Tupac said, I'm coming in the door blazing, popping a gun. He had this story that he was telling, but they want to hear something where you're killing people.
Yeah, so, if you cut on the radio. Yeah, if you cut on the radio, if you listen to like the popular hip hop, most of it is that type of content. Nowadays, like when we were younger, it was more a variety of different type of rappers. Like even if it was some negative shit, they were individuals, right? Now everybody kind of, not everybody, but most new rappers kind of sound the same. You know what I mean? And most of them have that same subject matter. And you're right, like the dudes who are empowering people or attempting to, they're just not as
popular. They're
just not as popular as a lot of the younger rappers. You know what I mean?
As much as we love Common, as much as we love, I can name somebody.
Talib Kweli.
I was gonna say that. That's funny. That's why my brother. I pronounce the name wrong. they're not on that they're not on that level. They're just not.
Hmm.
The people who are on the level are the Gucci's, and the people who are on that level are the people who are talking about literally, I'm doing lean.
Destruction.
Exactly.
Destruction. You know what I
Self
mean? Because
destruction.
I'm able to listen to somebody who's talking about destruction per se. And sometimes I can find the silver lining in his words.
Exactly, because you feel the truth in it.
You see what I'm
But when
saying? I can find the silver linings, but
yeah,
maybe a 12-year-old can't. Maybe a
exactly.
13-year-old can't. Because I used to think that you can, and we'll wrap this up in a minute and get onto our topic, but I used to think that you can allow a kid to listen to hip hop, any black kid, allow him to listen to hip hop, and he won't try to emulate the music, right? Now I'm of the belief, now that I'm a little older, I think it's about the environment that the kid lives in. Because white kids who listen to hip hop, they're not going out and doing the shit that they hear in the music. They just not. But if you're a black kid and you live in the environment that's speaking, if the music is speaking to the environment that you live in my opinion, you may see fit to kind of emulate some of the shit in the music to be a participant more so than just someone observing what's going on. You know what I mean?
So what do? Let's figure it out. People, if you guys got any comments or any recommendations on how do we keep our hip hop music alive in a more positive manner, you comment, please reach out to Melanated Convo Podcast and always
Hmm.
hit out to Shireen Power Moves Presents. Let's talk about it. How do we moving forward get our stars and our elders, the older ones, the OGs, to create music that brings about empowerment to be empowered.
Or even making sure the kids find more conscious rappers cool, because right now I can go on my phone and find you 7 to 10 guys who had made an album over the past 3 years that reflects the struggle we going through, that has content that reflects police brutality, and the shit is dope as hell. You see what I'm saying? These
So
just aren't the guys that's, but so as parents, if you're gonna allow your kid to listen to hip hop, this is a part of that education, right? This is a part of you saying, okay, I'm gonna let you listen to this music, but let me introduce you to the history. That's what I did to all my sons. They love hip hop. I love hip hop. So I was like, no, let's go back to the beginning. I'm gonna teach you about the beginning of hip hop, like the Grandmaster Flash and like
yeah,
the beginning. Then we're gonna work our way up to see how the South got involved, to see how lyricism got involved. Like I went
right,
through all that with them. I think that's necessary. You know what I mean? But you're
exactly.
right. There's definitely something we need to do as a community about the music and just how it's perceived, like how we allow these record companies to popularize it to a point where, middle America, they not digging into our culture like that. They see black folks, so these cities and towns that don't got a lot of black folks in them, they see a rap video, and to them, that's all niggas. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, we getting characterized by the negative attributes of our society, and that's not cool. So enough of that. Enough of that story. I'm just tired of seeing my young brothers get killed by the hands of somebody black. You know what I mean? So I got to continue to speak on it. So let's go. We're going to skip the last story. I'm going to talk about this shit. We're going to get right into the topic. Now, the
Let's talk
topic for
about
the
it.
day. Let's talk. The
I got the
topic for the
juicy
day.
stuff. The
The
juicy
topic
stuff.
for the day. Why do men and women cheat? We need to be honest. In society, it happens a lot. In marriages, people are getting divorced because of money and infidelity. You know what I mean? This is a real,
Exactly.
this is heavy on all of our minds. Even if you're in a solid relationship, whatever the case may be, infidelity is, it means something different to different people. So I wanted to get into with my sister Shireen, why do people cheat? And I have a list of things that I think, and we can go back and forth. And I'll speak from a man's perspective. I have a small idea of why women cheat is based on what I've been told and observing women, you know what I mean? Because I like to observe people. But for men, I know exactly why men cheat. So let's get into it, right?
Get
I
into
think the first reason, and I'll break it down, but the first reason I think is based on non-compatibility. I think sometimes, and this happens in men with men and women, I think sometimes you find yourself in a situation with a person that maybe early on you didn't know who you were in a relationship. Like you didn't know what you were looking for. You didn't know what you actually wanted. So maybe if you a dude, you just seen a fat ass You know what I mean? You didn't know if she was smart or not. You didn't know if she liked reading books. You didn't know she hated her fucking mama. You know what I mean? You
Right.
didn't. You know what I mean? You didn't know she didn't know how to discipline her son. You know what I mean? So you're not looking at none of this shit because you infatuated with how somebody looked. And I think everybody needs to get to the point where they realize a relationship ain't about the physical attributes. That helps and that's important. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna be with somebody for a long time, that shit's about a friendship. That shit's about a connection. That shit's about having principles and values that you guys both can rely on. That's the same when times get tough. It's about having like a friendship type relationship. And I think with dudes, if they find themselves in a situation where they don't love this woman no more, sometimes everybody don't have the wherewithal and the common sense and the conscience to realize that they're going down a horrible road and stop it. Say, nah, before I cheat on her, before I do any of this, I'm going to stop right now, sit her down, tell her what I need, or sit her down and tell her I don't want to be in a relationship no more. I think that shit is wishful thinking. Most men don't operate like that. Most men, if they're unhappy in their relationship and they're the kind of guy who, not like a ladies' man, but don't have a problem getting women, and you at work or you find yourself in a situation where you talking to a woman, that shit can escalate. You know what I mean? And
Right.
sometimes we don't do the knowledge on why did it escalate? Am I not happy? What's actually going on with me? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like sounds like what you're saying. Okay, so what I gathered from the very beginning is a lot of men get with the woman based on their attributes, like what they look like. You talked about what they
Superficial shit.
superficial, right? You talk about the booty, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not also what they look like. It's about how they feel, the
Mm,
actual sex.
mm.
So once a man and a woman intertwine and they have this special connection to where they feel like that woman's, you know, her her vagina, her vagina is something that's like out of this world.
Mm-hmm.
She can have every worst characteristic in the world
Ain't
because
that real?
what feels good is not just the booty and looking at it. What feels good is the actual inside of
Mm-hmm.
her,
Yep.
the warmth and stuff that they feel when they're inside of her. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why a lot of that. And so when once that's still there and the booty's still there, but they find out that woman, they have nothing in common. Is what I'm under the impression that you're saying. They have nothing in common. They
Yep.
don't have the same goals. They
Yep.
don't to rear their children up the same way.
Mm-hmm.
The woman may not show the man enough hope and
Attention. He has to feel that she got his back and that she believe in him. Because
right.
some dudes
Yes.
be in a situation where maybe he realized this ain't the woman for me for whatever reason, right? And now you going out into the world, and maybe because you think she not for you, whatever, you're projecting this energy on her. So y'all not getting along, y'all fighting or whatever. You go out in the world, and if a woman makes you feel appreciated, if she just asks you a question or act like she concerned, and let's just keep it, I mean, men for the most part, we stupid when it comes to a lot of shit. Like we thinking with our little head a lot
You
of
are.
time. We're not thinking rationally. You know what I
You are.
mean? So a woman can come and give you a compliment and you feeling empowered, because I think a lot of times men, regardless of your social economic status, regardless of how much money you got, regardless of how big you are, small you are and all that, men want to feel like men. Men want to feel, and sometimes we not feeling like men because of what we not doing. But other times it's because you with a woman that's not giving you what you need based on that. So some dudes ain't even trying to cheat. Like I know dudes who say I'm a fuck as many women as I want to for the rest of my life. And I know dudes who cheated on a woman and that wasn't even their goal. Like that wasn't even how they get down. But
Right.
shit happens, man. Like shit happens. You know what I mean? And you can be in a
Talk about
situation, you know what I
yes.
mean? And man, you could be in a situation where you're not feeling appreciated. And this woman, and this could be a woman, because sometimes women will be like, they'll find out, they'll find out who you cheated with, and they'll be like, ugh, she was ugly. You gonna cheat with me with that bitch? Look,
She's like,
sometime that ugly bitch was hopeful. She knew how to talk to you. She was nice to the motherfucker.
right.
She shut up.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
You
So
know what I mean?
they're talking a lot, but what you're basically saying is that a lot of men look outside of their relationships. Let's just say marriage, their relationships, because of sometimes emotional. So when you talk about what you just said, that brings you into emotional cheating because the you don't feel the same support. Like even your goal, like
Mm-hmm.
you may have a wife or a woman that's like, what are you doing right now?
Mm-hmm.
When I know that you can go work in the computer industry or something and make about 60,000 a year, but you want to go live your dream and talk about melanated fathers. So
Mm-hmm.
so then you go to work, you go out in the community, and you meet a woman that's like, man, everything you're doing is so awesome. I
That,
just I
yeah.
you, I honor you, King. I'm so happy that you're doing what you're doing, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not a one time thing. Every time you see that woman, she's telling you that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course you may start feeling a certain way about that woman because she's giving you the emotional support that you need. And so that was one point that you talked about. Now I want to talk about something real quick. Recently on the Real, you familiar with the Real?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Lonnie Love recently spoke on her show, The Real, and she said, and I'm gonna read it word for word. She said, I don't speak for the black community, but I do think a lot of black men, they really don't know how to have true, faithful relationships.
Mm.
They they think because they have money, because they have power, that they can treat women any kind of way. And
Mm-hmm.
that is something that we need to work on. She
Mm-hmm.
went on to say that money and power does not mean that you can just do whatever you want to do. And someone started talking about, oh, it's a cultural thing. And she said, no, it's not. I don't believe that it's cultural. It's not across the board because what is happening is that we are still dealing with the point of slavery and we are descendants of slavery. And because our families were broken up and we still do not have an idea of how to have our families being together, because of that, it's hard for a black man to be faithful. She goes all the way back to our ancestry, to slavery, saying that we weren't even able to be a family.
True.
So how then, when I give much respect to my ancestors, but how then can they raise their families when we got out of slavery to be like solid when they weren't able to do that when we were back enslaved? So she went that deep and to say that's why men cheat because basically they don't know how, that we were not taught that based in back in the slavery days and things of that nature. How do you feel about that?
Okay, so I think there's an aspect of what she's saying is true. Um,
And the money
historically,
and
huh?
and 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 then also the slavery part, and then about how a man feels they can do whatever they want to when they have the money and the power.
Got it. So the slavery part, I think, yeah, you can look at how we were treated as bucks, and they would take one man that was a guy who was really big and in shape or whatever. They would take him and put him in like in a barn with like 20 women and make him impregnate all of them. You know what I mean? There was times where they would take a male slave and fuck you in your ass in front of your wife, just to be frank. You know what I mean? They did a lot of shit to dehumanize us. You can be chilling in the house one day with your family, and all of a sudden they taking your kid and selling your kid off somewhere else. So you
Right.
gotta walk to fucking Virginia to find your son. I mean, it was crazy shit going on. So yes, all of this participates. Also, what I would have wanted her to talk about too is the fact that the black man in America is probably the most hunted figure in America. Like
Yes.
we're the most idolized, we're the most revered, but we're the most attacked as well. So sometimes you dealing with a society or a community of black men that's in jail. You got black men. You got to factor in the gay shit, like that, which ain't no African shit. So American culture has kind of put that on us as well. So you're dealing with men who are homosexual. You are
Right.
dealing with men who just don't have no energy to get up and do whatever. You know what I mean? But the point about rich and famous black men
Not
thinking
even
they can.
famous. Just people. Not even just rich and famous. Just people. Let's say making 300,000 a year,
Okay,
and they only got
successful black men.
300,000 a year, and they only got 50,000 worth of bills. $25,000 worth of bills a month, and then
Okay,
they make 300. Okay, maybe 400,000 a year, 50,000 in bills a year.
But here's the thing. The only part she messed up with is that's not a black man thing. That's a man thing. Did she say that?
No, indeed, you're exactly
Okay.
correct. That you're indeed correctly that. Now, Ebro. Now, I don't even know if you know this, but Ebro's from Sacramento.
I do.
So Ebro done migrated and moved up and evolved, and he has one of the hottest
Yeah,
radio
Hot 97.
Hot 97 in New York. So
Mm-hmm.
he went on to say and just kind of give feedback on what she said. He went on to say that it's not all black women, and that not all black. Hold on, it's not all black women, and that it's not all black men, and that when your women believes that you are not capable, you start to feel frustrated. When your family doesn't believe in you,
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to be honorable and doing everything right, imagine the pain that a black man feels when someone that, like I spoke on earlier, they don't really believe in you, and they show you with
Mm-hmm.
their actions, with their words, with the type of look. So he
Mm-hmm.
said, so kind of imagine the pain that a black man goes through when he's trying to do everything right. He went on to say, as black men, you guys are always considered the problem, and that's a problem that we haven't gotten out of our systems as of yet. Historically speaking, men have stood out in regards to cheating.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk, a lot of times when black people talk about cheating, it's usually about the men. We don't discuss too much about the women, right? It's always the men. So he
Very
talked
true.
about that as well, and he
Mm-hmm.
said that the idea, going back to your point, that all black men cheat is ridiculous. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
black thing; it's a man thing. He
Mm-hmm.
said, but he understands what Lonnie was talking about because that's her mark. That's where she grew up around. She grew around black people. She knew about the black people. So, but what he really does not like is how black women say all black men are cheaters, and we don't like how our men say all black women are cheaters. So that's
And
where we
look,
got to work together.
and I gotta say this about Lonnie Love too, like just to keep the shit all the way 100. Sometimes I think when a black woman, successful like her, let's say a successful black woman, doesn't feel like she's getting a fair shake with black men herself, because her boyfriend, husband, he a white. I'm not calling her a bad wench or nothing like that, but her dude is white. Like this is fact. So sometimes I think when you've decided to go to the other side, you kind of justify why you had to go over there. You know what I mean? Instead of looking at yourself, because I will say this too, and shit. Sometimes women, I think, people, but women overachieve in the dating game. Like they're thinking they should get one thing when maybe the man in your dreams been trying to talk to you all goddamn year. He just ain't rich. Or maybe because in Lonnie Love's case, I'm gonna be honest, in dating in life, I think looks matter. Like how you look matter. And if you a woman, if you're a little chunky, you know what I mean? Yeah, there are men. I know men who like big women. I'm sure
They
there are
love
attractive men who
they
like
love
big women. However,
yeah
if you in Hollywood or you in some of these circles, most men who are prestigious,
yeah.
they not really rocking with. So sometimes you got to know where you at and be like, all right, fuck them dudes. I'm gonna talk to the dude who, shit, he's a construction foreman who make a lot of money. He kind of chunky like me, but he loved me. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes you overachieve a little bit and you get to thinking it's all. I don't like when nobody say all of something, like all black men is or all, because that's not true.
It's not true. It's ridiculous. How can all
Mm-hmm.
black people be one way? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I agree with that. And he went on to talk about how black women could do better in making an atmosphere where the man wants to come home.
Yeah.
Um, making the atmosphere a place where the man feels safe. Us in our culture, we're worried a lot about, like they say, a happy wife, a happy life. That's not true.
I hate that shit.
It's a happy.
I hate that. I hate that statement.
You
When
guys know
men
better, right?
when
So
men come around me talking about, oh, I just gotta make sure she happy, man. If I make sure she happy, what? Y'all gotta be happy. It's not about elevating a woman's happiness over your own. Now, I will say this. because women are more emotionally based creatures, sometimes
Some of
her
us.
energy can kind of run the environment just based on how she's feeling. So I get the ideology if, okay, if I make the emotional one happy, if the emotional being in the space is happy, then the whole environment is going to be more conducive to all of us being happy. You know what I mean? So I get that to a degree, but at the end of the day, we're making each other happy. You know what I mean?
It's the term. We talk a lot about terms. That shouldn't be a term where you say happy wife, happy life. It could be just something that we all are aware that
Mm-hmm.
the women, we're a bit emotional.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot on our shoulders, and that even our boys look up to us a lot. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, if we're cool, the house is cool, but it doesn't have to be a whole term. Happy wife, happy life. That belittles your happiness, and that's just not right. And so in any relationship, I believe that the man should try to make the woman happy, and it should be an equal thing.
Mm-hmm.
I say happy husband, happy life.
Mm-hmm.
If I keep my husband happy at home, he's gonna give me what I want. He's gonna give me what I need. And
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to think about it too.
he's not gonna go out for emotional support. He's not gonna go out looking for something else because he's happy at home. So why
Mm-hmm.
would I keep this thing where he needs to please me? I need to be happy. Everything has to be about me. I'm gonna lose out that way. Easy.
And I think I run into problems when I hear people start their sentence off like black men don't be or black women don't. When in actuality, in America today, both of us is fucked up. Both of us are dealing with trauma. Both
Yes.
of us some at times got to deal with this system in ways that we don't want to. So we kind of got the same enemy to a degree. We're not the enemy of one another. You can point to things that the black woman suffers from in America, how she's treated by men, how she's treated by people in corporations when she tries to work and move up the corporate ladder. Like black women are treated like shit. Equally, black
Mm-hmm.
men are treated like shit in
Right.
society. When we young men, we get militarized by the police. We live in these communities where they treat us like we're damn cattle, where they push us in a direction of selling drugs and all this because we're dealing with the fact that our dad not there or our mom is on drugs, and all of these things is symptoms of the system that we live in. So I don't like hearing that shit. And every time, I'll be honest, when I'm hearing somebody say, well, black men don't do this or white women don't do that, typically that's a motherfucker with a white partner or a Mexican partner or something like that, where they're kind of trying to justify why they went outside of the community. No, motherfucker, just go. You know what I mean? Just go. You ain't gotta do any of that. You ain't
I say
gotta.
I say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Be who you want to be with. Be
Mm-hmm.
who you be with, but don't down the black woman because that's who you want to be with. You're attracted to who you want to be with. But my thing is this: don't try to find something wrong with me because you want to be with somebody of a different race.
You know what I
That's
mean?
what that's what makes me mad. That's what makes me mad, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa.
And I
My
had
black
this dude. I'm not
yeah.
gonna say his name, but I had this dude tell me the other day. And he married to a black woman, but he told me the other day, man, we need to realize black women is running black men away from the home. They always fussing, they always fighting. And I had to tell him, my nigga, look, I know men who have Mexican girlfriends or wives. I know men who have Filipino wives, all different races. If you doing certain shit, a woman with a backbone is gonna say something.
Exactly.
It don't matter how she look. Now, I will say this: we have to we have to quantify this the correct way, right? Because of our upbringing, because of what we had to go through, we do have certain fractions of our society who had so much trauma going up where we have a young woman who was raised by a mama who may be a little bitter, 'cause this shit happens, may be a little bitter that things didn't work out with the father. So she's talking shit about the father. She's not presenting like a positive energy. She's not producing an energy that makes you want to, that's conducive to her even having a relationship. So she's talking all this shit based on her trauma and the things she's been through. Sometimes you can pass that down to your daughter. So you will have a daughter who get into a disagreement with a man and she popping off her mouth in a disrespectful way. in like a too much of a confrontational, disrespectful way. So that happens. But
And I will say this, they're just speaking for myself as a black woman, a melanated woman, and having to raise my son by myself.
mm-hmm,
I had to make all the decisions by myself. I
mm-hmm,
had to go up to the school and speak to him when they tried to label him as this horrible black boy that was going to slip through the cracks. I had to do that by myself. So when I raise a whole person by myself, pay the bills and lights and clothes and everything by myself, it's I will admit it's been hard for me to have somebody come in and try to tell me, not try to tell, but try to put impart on me their anything, because I'm like, no, oh, Shireen, you're gonna take Jalen to go do this. I'm like, no, I'm about to go do this and do this, and then I'm gonna go do this, and I don't even take the time in the past. That's the old Shireen. Even take the time to listen to what they're saying. It went through one ear and out the other because I have been doing something for 16, 17 years. Now you want to come in and even speak. So I think that in regards to why black women and men cheat, there's several different reasons. We talked about not being happy, so we have to open up the communication. Okay, we talked about what I want to talk about. I spoke to a friend of mine, who doesn't even really believe in cheating because he would like to be able to have more than one woman, and we didn't touch on that. And we quickly talk about that. There's a name for it.
Polygamy. Well, so here's the thing.
Quickly talk about that because that's a way not to cheat. I mean, if people are more open to that, that's a way from our ancestors did that. In Africa right now, you can have more than one wife. If we're able to open our minds a little bit different and think a little bit different about relationships nowadays, I think things may work out a little bit better. This thing about marrying somebody when you're 17 and being with them till you're 99,
that shit is imaginary.
It was back in the day.
Yeah.
It was back in the day. It's a new day. So people should be free to think and live their lives how they want to and not be judged for it. How do you feel about that?
I think this westernized version of what a relationship is, shit, just like chitlins, just like Christmas, just like Easter, we didn't get none of this shit. None of this shit's ours. I'm sorry to tell you, black folks. If you a married couple, I ain't got nothing against you, but that ain't no African shit. Not like that. You know what I mean? So all these westernized ass rules. This is what I tell people. I think relationships, whatever you create in your home, y'all got to live with that shit. Y'all got to stand on that shit. It should be whatever you want it to be. I always look at homes as like your own little community. That's your own little city. You run that motherfucker the way you want to. You see what I'm saying? If in polygamy, I think the only reason why you can't have two wives in America, because then it wouldn't be no goddamn debt. None of us would owe money if we had 3 goddamn incomes in our house. None of us would owe money. We'd be able to pay for whatever we needed to pay for. All these institutions, in my opinion, aren't really set up to help us. They're set up to intervene just in case we need help, but I shouldn't have to pay a lawyer because I don't love this bitch no more. I shouldn't have to go through all this. What is all that about? You know what I mean? So if I hearing about polygamy and if I know a dude that is doing that shit and that shit working for you, my nigga, handle that shit. Forget what everybody got to say. Dude, if that's going to work for your relationship. But the reason why we don't have a lot of polygamous relationships, just on some real shit, is because men is kind of like cowards. Like in front of our friends, we have popped this shit like we the man, and nigga, I got it how I want to, nigga, and I can do this and I can do that. Well, in reality, most of us don't got the balls to sit our woman down and say, look, I love you, but I've been talking to Jasmine. Remember Jasmine? Yeah, I've been talking to Jasmine. And she want to sit down and kind of see if we can come up with something together. Men is scared of the woman flashing, the woman saying, what? You're admitting that you want to be in another relationship? You admitting that you want to, you know what I mean?
Vice versa.
You know what I mean? So some of it is just not based on us being real with ourselves. And another thing, I think men in their mind will say, yeah, polygamy sounds cool, but some of us can't manage one woman. Some of us struggle with making one woman happy. You know what I mean? So to come up with this, Like hell no, it ain't. So to come up with this idea where I can have two or three when I get tired of this one woman talking, you know what I mean?
That's you get tired of the one woman talking, and then you're able to go talk to the next woman. There's a Facebook star. He has like over 500,000 followers. I talked to you about him earlier, Kevin.
Wait. Let me say something real quick. So my boy Kwame said that his grandparents were together for 70 years. And being with someone that long is not a fantasy. Kwame, I'm not saying it's completely a fantasy family, but just a little bit. Your grandparents, they was raised in a different time, family. Like they didn't have Instagram. They wasn't looking at all these asses. Player, come on now, man.
They didn't have
It's difficult. It's different when it's 42 motherfuckers in your town and all the black people kick it with each other. And you know what I mean? It's the world's big now, player. So yeah, you can get married and be happy, but I don't go by the marriage part. I think I'm pro good relationship.
Exactly.
I'm pro good relationship. You're right, Kwame. It is about communication. It is about communication. But how many people know what they want? Like, keep it real. How many people actually go into a relationship knowing exactly what they want and knowing how to execute that shit and get it? You know what I mean? We get distracted by so many other things because some of us, like I always say, some of us have never even figured out who we are. And if I don't know who I am, it's no way I can truly make you happy. If I don't know who I am, it's no way I can conduct all this shit the way it needs to happen. You know what I mean? So I think marriage is because in America, if marriage was completely right for all of us, people wouldn't be ending it the way that they end it. They end it because they getting married and shit for the wrong reason when you should be pro healthy relationship. Now, if you want to take this healthy relationship into the business called marriage, sure. But the marriage ain't gonna validate your relationship. People getting it all fucked up. You think you can get married and all of a sudden all the problems gonna go away? All of a sudden now because the societal pressures, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say no names, but I know men who want to be with their woman forever.
They do.
Like in their mind, or when I talk to them, they ain't never said, I'm leaving her, fuck this bitch, I'm out of here. Never said none of that. But also, they don't really got a desire to get married because marriage in America is a raw deal for a man. That shit's a come up for a woman most times. For a man, you get divorced, if you got anything, you splitting that shit with the person you was having sex with. That don't make no goddamn sense to me. So a lot of men, it's like, all right.
Wait, that's the same with women.
I love this woman, so she keep telling me about getting married. Her mama, her sister, her cousin keep asking, when you gonna pop the question, girl? When y'all ain't married yet? Don't y'all got a baby together? All this shit. So she putting that pressure on you, and now some men be like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I know some men who just tired of talking about it, but they not like, well, I was gonna leave her or something. No, they planned on being with the woman. We just don't be thinking like I don't need, because look, the wedding day, that shit ain't for us. That day ain't for us. The goddamn dress, all the shit y'all picking out, the food. We don't give a shit about that shit. We just want to go home and get some pussy. we don't care about all this shit you creating. The whole goddamn thing is for a woman. You ain't looking at your suit like, look how I look in this suit. No, it's a woman with a dress, and she trying them on, and she's showing them to everybody. So I think people get wrapped up into that day, like the ideal of being married, and the shit flop. Now there's other people who was gonna be together anyway. They was gonna be together anyway. They rock with each other. They just decided to get married, and they gonna be together 20, 30, 40 years because they was rocking with each other anyway. They didn't think this piece of paper was now gonna change something. You know what I mean? So when we talk about,
let me talk to Kwame. Kwame, you're right. You know, you talk about your you said his parents.
No, his grandparents were together 70 years.
Okay, so
that's a long ass time.
I didn't bring that up, but my auntie and uncle who are still alive today, I believe, have been married close to 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
They got married when she was 20. She's 76. Mm-hmm. So, and then I have my other auntie and uncle. They've been married close to 40. So mm-hmm. I'm not saying that it can't happen. What I'm saying is people need to just be honest with themselves, communicate, and like you said, be upfront with what it is they want. Now, mm-hmm. the polygamy thing, It doesn't always have to be you guys living together. The woman could have her own home, and then you can live with your wife, and the wife know that you have another woman, and things of that nature, or vice versa. Because a lot of times when we talk about polygamy, one thing that bugs me is it's always the men with two women. No, 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 no. If I ever get into a relationship like that, I'm like I mentioned to you before, I'm gonna be the one with two men. So
Ain't no man going for that shit, Shireen. Ain't no man going for that shit, Shireen. We get no, they don't. No, they don't. Our egos, our egos is too big. You think I'm finna drop you off in your other husband house? What you finna do? I'm finna go in here with Ron and get Ram. Finna go make dinner for Ron. Hell no. Ain't no man in his right mind. Hell no.
Let's research it and put it up underneath the notes because I've seen it before, and a woman had two men.
She found some fucking fools. Ain't no goddamn way. I'm sorry, our egos is too big. You call her in the middle of the night, he ramming her, he fucking the shit out of her. You call her, what you doing, boo? She moaning and groaning. All right, just call me back when you done. Hell no. Ain't no situation where you go.
I will find it for you. So what's your favorite? What's your favorite if you could choose and you were with someone for so long and you could choose and maybe go back and you could choose the bestest. I know that's not a word, woman in the world. You mean to tell me that you wouldn't? And she told you, I love you, Harrison. I love you, but I also love John over here. So like, I'm willing to be with you. You have all of me, but also John is who I'm with as well. If you're willing to deal with that, you mean to tell me your whole life you wouldn't do that? Lies.
Hell. So I would say cool. You can be with John on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But I'm gonna be with Monique. On Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. God damn it. And eventually we just gonna be two separate motherfuckers fucking with people. You know what I mean? That shit.
I'm talking
all right, look.
One woman and two men.
Hell no. Hell no.
Hell no. It is what it is. That it happens. We just got to bring it up. We got to find the facts and bring it to.
You got to send me. That damn article.
I will.
All right. So some more reasons. I want to get to some more reasons before we go real quick. More reasons on why I think men actually cheat. You know what I mean? Something else that we don't touch on, and this is for everybody. Some of this shit ain't just for men. Women kind of feel the same way, right? So sometimes you just get tired of the same person. Sometimes, and people who haven't been in a relationship for a long time they may not be able to relate to that shit, but sometimes you just get tired of the same person. Sometimes you just want something different. You know what I mean? Sometimes it ain't, because for men, like, keep in mind too, y'all, mentally, we don't put a lot of stock into the whole ideology of cheating. Like a man, it's not an emotional action for us. So, I mean, just your dick got a different mind than you got at times. Like, and you can separate the two and not, you know what I mean? So sometimes a dude is just in a situation where, because we're visual, so we're constantly looking at our woman, and what we see turns us on or not, right? So you can get to a point where you tired of what you see, and of course people gonna tell you, wear lingerie and spice it up and all this shit. That shit works to a degree. That shit works. But overall, sometimes it's just you get bored, and then your eyes, like the visual shit, gets us in trouble. And I'm gonna be honest, there are different types of men, right? There are men who never really was good with women. Like in high school, whenever they start having sex, whenever they start dealing with women, they never really had a lot of women. It was difficult for them to get a woman. They looked at other parts of life and wasn't really tripping off of the relating to a woman thing. So I think when that kind of man gets into a relationship, he locks it in. Like, he not looking for anything else, because shit, it was hard enough getting this one. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some dudes, and agree with me or not, some guys, it's the whole faithful thing, the not cheating thing is a little more difficult, because you get into a situation where you love a woman, y'all together, everything is tight. And then let's say you get bored, like the other dude gets bored. Well, when you get bored, it's a little bit different, because you know how to get women, you know how to get pussy if you want to. Like you
Right,
go outside and women look at you. You go out because women don't talk to you per se, but you go outside and women is looking at you. You
right.
go outside and you getting attention, and based on how you've lived before, you know all I gotta do is say a couple words and it could be on. You see what I'm saying? So for that type of man, it creates a bigger temptation. It makes it even harder because you have to be even more disciplined because you know what you're capable of. You see what
I
I'm
hear you.
saying?
I hear you 100%. I just want you to keep in mind that women go through that same exact thing. The
Mm,
same exact thing. It's not hard for women. It's indeed much more easier for a woman to cheat.
that's true.
We don't have to do much because of what you just said. Most of
Hmm.
you guys are thinking with the wrong head.
Hmm.
So for women, it's really hard, easy for us to cheat. So that's why in my case, I need to be stimulated mentally
Like
and
most women.
and
Yep.
spiritually, like you're
Hmm.
talking about emotionally,
Hmm.
more than just the physical. Because after a while, I'll get bored on that.
Hmm. That
So
makes sense. That makes
and
sense. And
and
sometimes too.
yeah, that in the past when I was younger, I did it because I could. I
Hmm.
literally just cheated because I could, and I was bored. And
Hmm.
I realized now that I was bored because that person wasn't stimulating me. They weren't, like we
Hmm.
were talking about, they weren't encouraging me. They weren't finding things that I was good at. All they
Hmm.
wanted was the Yanni. So
Hmm.
if that's all
Hmm.
you want, and you want me to be your little slut slave, after a while, I'm gonna go to the next person
You
who
little
is
slut slave.
mine, and then come straight back home to you, and you still gonna do the same things that you were doing before. Sit me up on the counter and do that thing down there. That's the next man.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And you know in
Now.
your heart, and you know in your heart that I just left the next man because you couldn't even get me on the line.
Hmm.
But that's what I'm saying. Don't underestimate women.
Well,
Women
see,
cheat just as easy or easier than a man, and y'all
well,
don't know how to cheat. We do.
so I know some dudes, right? I've known men before who will tell me because they work hard, because they got a lot of money, because they put it down in the bedroom, all these reasons that they woman won't cheat on them. So it is men out there who think that when, see, I'm not of that belief. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how much you put it down in the bedroom. I don't care all the attributes you bring to the table. It's somebody that got more. You see what I'm saying? And I always tell my partners, it's niggas with game out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's men with mouthpiece out here. Like you think your woman won't fall for a line, or you think she won't. Let y'all be having an argument one day. You see what I'm saying? Now this gets into deeper things about it's how loyal is she, if she gonna do all that, whatever the case may be. But she just like a man. Like I'm talking about men here, but I'm well aware that some women just like to have sex too. Like keep it real. They ain't gotta be stimulated. They ain't gotta. They'll fuck you and be like, okay, you leaving? You know what I mean? Then kick your ass out afterwards.
Call me.
Now, something else I want to bring up too, because I think too, like if you have a man who, let's say, he wasn't good with the ladies in high school or no time in his life, and he finally got a woman. Some of these dudes always watching porn, always looking at other women, and if the opportunity arose,
Yeah.
like if a beautiful woman came up to him, I seen a video. I seen a video maybe like a year ago of this this badass chick, right?
Yeah.
On video, she was walking to me and just grabbing a dick. Walking. And let me tell you, no man
I
was like,
saw that.
hey, what you
I
do?
saw that.
Not one of them. You know why? Because a lot of men, we're not used to getting approached by women. So
Yeah.
it takes a hell of a man. If a beautiful woman walk up to a man and be like, look, I got 5 minutes. What's up?
Yeah.
It's gonna be difficult for a man to be like, well, no, I'm in a relationship. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? A lot of
Because
men,
yeah,
a
the
lot.
key about cheating, Harrison, and why men cheat and stuff, it has to do. It's so many different aspects:
Hmm.
weakness, not being happy, feelings of inadequacies. This is why, again, going back to why women and men cheat, feeling of inadequacies, being molested as children, thinking
Oh,
that
that's a good one.
all they have to do is please a man,
Hmm.
um, seeing ourselves on television as only sexy symbols, and again,
True.
getting that attention from a man is what we long for, looking
Mm-hmm.
for the person that's going to love us and marry us. There's so many different reasons why men and women cheat, but I think that a lot if we talk about why they stay together, it has to do with nurturing. You have to nurture that person's spirit, their goals, their dreams,
I
and
fuck with that.
as long you fucking with it,
Yeah, I fuck with that.
as long as you nurture your partner on a daily basis, it's not going to be perfect, but as
Mm-hmm.
long as you believe in them, uplift them, nurture them, and love them, and respect them,
Mm-hmm.
they're probably going to stay at home and then do that other stuff. I can talk about me because, but I'm not gonna let the world know about me because, I'm a different type because I'm used to being treated a certain way from the very first time. Everybody they acted like I was all that, so I didn't have to do a lot of work. So now
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to change that to make sure I do stuff to keep the person interested
Mm.
instead of just being Shireen. So
Mm-hmm.
again, if you're loyal, if you are nurturing, if you respect that person, and if you keep them interested, and you are a believer in them, you believe in them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that a man will do probably he probably would cheat unless that fine Beyonce looking woman come
Here,
up.
so look, everything you just said is true, right? Like I said, I'm fucking with that. It's true. But for me, and I'll save this for the last thing here. The number one reason I think that men cheat, and this is men of all races, I don't care how much money you got, how you look, the main reason that men cheat is because we can. Because we can. And
I
we
just
ain't
said
shit.
about women. I said because
You know what I mean? And shit, we don't pass up on opportunities. And men are able to separate the sexual act from, because I know men who cheat on their women, right? And if I remove the cheating part, if I go down the line of everything they are in this world, they damn near perfect dudes. They take care of their family, they take care of their home, they do everything they supposed to do. It's just they gotta fuck. You know what I
you
mean?
no, you're right. I'm kind of like I gotta be kind of an oppositionist sometimes, but you're right. A lot of men do cheat because they can, and there's a lot of women out here that are looking for love.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of women that want to be accepted and they want to be loved, and especially by our men. And so they hear somebody say, "You're beautiful. I got your back. I'll take care of you," and this that you got us. You know what I mean? Not me, but there's a lot of I made my mistakes. I made my mistakes, and I'm not ashamed of nothing. But it is easy to get a woman, especially a kind woman like me, because we see people for their spirit, not for their money, not for what they have, not for what they can even offer me. And then also sometimes in the past I will feel like like I felt sorry for the man in lightweight. Some type
Mm.
of way I felt like they just needed they really needed me. I lightweight believed some of the stuff they said. Why? Because they've been saying it since I was 17 years old. Now, if
Mm.
someone's telling me something, different men, different backgrounds say the same thing about your energy, your spirit. Since you're 17 and now I'm over 40, where the lie at? So for me, I sometimes like I'll listen to that and I feel like, well, let me heal you. Let me heal you, baby. I can't do that no more. I cannot fix you. I cannot heal you. I gotta heal myself and I gotta love myself.
Hmm.
So for all y'all listening out there, don't try it because it's not gonna happen anytime soon. Okay?
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, look, man, this has been a real good show, a real good conversation. We could talk all day about this shit, all night about this shit. You know what I mean? So I definitely appreciate you coming on to the show. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. So we're doing a Facebook Live right now. Once the show is uploaded, it'll be on Facebook, but it'll also be on Melanated Fathers TV on my YouTube channel. My website, melanatedfathers.com, is being reconstructed right now. So give me a few more days to get the site back up and running. But typically, The show will be posted on the website, melanatedfathers.com. It's posted on my YouTube page, Melanated Fathers TV on YouTube. It's also everywhere you can find podcasts. So you can find the show at Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you feel me? So all these places is where you can find the show. I appreciate everybody for continually rocking with me and liking and sharing everything that I do. This is like a thankless job. I understand that I'm not talking about popping pussy or talking about rappers, or I'm not talking about any of this entertainment type shit. For the most part, that our black family really enjoy, I've always tried to go deeper and have bigger conversations. So I appreciate everybody who tune in and hear me goddamn run my mouth. I appreciate it. Please don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go to Melanated Fathers TV on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I want to thank my sister Shireen Briggs for coming on the show. As always, we have a great chemistry. Always have a great show. I appreciate you for sparing your time, sister. I appreciate that.
No problem, no problem. You guys don't forget, tap in with the tap in, Melanated Fathers, Harrison Anderson. I'm gonna post this on my page as well. And my takeaway from this whole thing is that we know that women and men cheat, but my people, let's do better. Either you're gonna be with one person or you're gonna be with other people. Just be honest up front and keep it 100.
Yeah, that sounds like a woman. That's
honest up front.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Do what she said, y'all.
And guess what? I want to show you guys my little sign real quick before you go. I want you guys to know, my black men, I appreciate you always. So it basically says, "Dear black women, you are loved, black men."
I like that, Shireen.
That's how you can keep us women faithful, all right? Let us know that we are loved.
There we go. Well, it's been another great episode, man, of the Melanated Convo podcast. I want to thank everybody for tuning into the show. We out.